Why is it almost impossible to reach the South Pole? This is the long-forgotten list of brave souls who set out to explore Antarctica, to be the first to place their footsteps on the South Pole, but never made it back alive. For over a century, humanity has tried and failed. Many didn't even make it close, and those who did simply vanished, gone, without a trace. What's truly mind-blowing, Antarctica, this frozen desert that's been still for over 70 million years, wasn't even seen by human eyes until just 200 years ago. Imagine this, while the British ruled India, the world hadn't even discovered Antarctica yet. In the history books of Earth, Antarctica is the last chapter, the one no one ever got to read. Commercial airplanes aren't even allowed to fly over it, and ships, they've been swallowed whole by its wrath. But today, we're flipping that final page, and we're breaking into the icy grave hiding secrets the world was never supposed to find out. Over 2,000 years ago, ancient philosophers like Aristotle and Ptolemy imagined a vast land at the far south of Earth. To them, it was the only logical way to balance the islands in the north. They named it Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. In 1520, Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan reached the southern tip of South America. He saw massive icebergs, but Antarctica, still far, far away. Then in 1773, British explorer Captain James Cook became the first to cross the Antarctic Circle. He got closer than anyone before, but all he saw were towering walls of ice, mountains of frozen death. So he turned back. It wasn't until 1820 that Russian explorer Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen saw what no one else had: a continent hidden beneath jagged cliffs of ice. You see, Antarctica sits over 8,000 feet above sea level, on rocky mountains buried under snow. That's why James Cook missed it. It's not just cold, it's elevated. Even today it remains the highest continent on Earth. But there was no place to land. No beach, no harbor, just glaciers, ice, death. And what followed was decades of failure. This photo was taken in 1904, 3 men, Captain Robert Scott, Shackleton and Wilson, fresh off a 3-year failed expedition. But the photo doesn't show their frost-bitten faces. The deep cuts, the burns, the blackened lips. Antarctica had broken them. Ever felt cold in New York winter? That's nothing. Antarctica drops to minus 90 degrees Celsius. Humidity? Practically zero. Your lips wouldn't just crack, they'd shatter. In one expedition, Scott's team was so desperate, they had to eat their own sled dogs, just to survive. But Scott didn't give up. He made a promise. He'd not only touch Antarctica, he'd reach the South Pole and plant his country's flag there. In 1911, after a brutal year-long journey, Scott and his team finally made it. They reached the pole. But what they saw crushed them. A flag was already there. Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen had beat them by just 1 month, with better prep, better planning. He became the first man to ever reach the South Pole. And as for Scott, heartbroken and exhausted, he and his team turned back. But they never made it. One by one, they froze to death in a blizzard, just miles from safety. His body is still buried beneath the ice. Even today, Antarctica remains unforgiving. Most bodies still lost, still undiscovered. No one dares to go looking. Now here's the twist. On the other side of the world, in the Arctic, people live there. In Greenland, Alaska, Russia, over 4 million humans survived the North Pole's cold. But in Antarctica, zero. No cities, no towns, not even polar bears can survive here. Just a few penguins, some seals, and scattered groups of scientists. Because in Antarctica, there's only 2 things: silence and questions. Questions that rise. But the answers? They always stay buried. Like, how is it this cold? When it used to be covered in thick forests. Why does NASA keep returning here? What exactly are they looking for? And the biggest one of all, if it's just a frozen desert, then why are there so many UFO sightings, with no explanation? The South Pole isn't just a place, it's the world's greatest mystery.